An Iranian missile made impact in the old city of Jerusalem, with shrapnel landing on the Temple Mount. Also, Israel was able to carry out an almost impossible assassination of one leader that could be holding the Iranian regime together, meaning it's possible they could be close to collapse. And the US used 5,000-pound bunker busters to bomb missile sites deep underground near the Strait of Hormuz. I'm Ben Hilton, and this is the Israel Guys. We'll get into the details on what happened with the Temple Mount in a minute, but first I want to talk about this assassination that Israel just did because it's an even bigger story than what happened in Jerusalem. Iran officially confirmed that Israel was able to eliminate Ali Larijani, also his son and his bodyguards, in a strike on his home in Pardes yesterday. Larijani is a former IRGC member. He was the nuclear negotiator from 2005 to 2007. He headed the Supreme National Council for a while. He masterminded the kidnapping of Israeli soldiers back in 2006. He was a speaker of Iranian parliament up until 2020. And according to reports, Larijani was the key figure holding the Iranian regime together, and he was also the heir apparent to run things after Khamenei's death. And it sounds like he's been the leader running operations in Iran for the last few weeks. Also, it said that he was the main driver behind appointing Khamenei's son as the official supreme leader, even though he's probably currently in a coma, meaning Khamenei's son was intended to remain a figurehead, and Larijani was probably expected to run things himself on a day-to-day basis. But despite the challenges involved, Israel was just able to take him out. Apparently, Larijani took extreme precautions against an Israeli strike. Naturally, at this point, Israel was able to combine precise intelligence with special ground capabilities and a very, very quick decision-making loop to make this happen. Reportedly, it took less than an hour between the initial intelligence and the strike itself, which is extraordinary. This leaves Iran in a very difficult position. Israel has not assassinated Iran's top leadership once. They've now done it twice, and while doing so have proved that really no one can escape when Israel puts them in their crosshairs. And that begs the question, can the regime be rebuilt, or are they on the verge of collapse? The answer to that depends on how top-down the regime actually is. Are they being held together by a coalition of aging commanders at the top, a coalition that's now being killed off one by one? Or do they have a deep network of dedicated leadership that goes much deeper than the top several levels? This probably isn't an accurate representation of the state of where things are at the moment, but this conversation is really interesting. Israel has been calling mid and low-level Iranian commanders to threaten them, encouraging them to stand aside in the event of an uprising. One of the conversations they released publicly went like this. And a MOSSAD agent speaking Farsi was able to get an Iranian commander on the phone, and he started with, quote, "We know everything about you. You are on our blacklist, and we have all the information about you." The commander said, "Okay." Then the agent went on. He said, "I called to warn you in advance that you should stand with your people's side. And if you will not do that, your destiny will be as your leader. Do you hear me?" The commander said, "Brother, I swear on the Quran, I'm not your enemy. I'm a dead man already. Just please come help us." So hopefully, best case scenario, that commander is a representative of the majority of the lower levels in the IRGC. And if Israel and America keep disrupting the top command, it's only a matter of time before the whole thing collapses. If that is the case, and that's a big if, we could be very close to seeing that happen. But either way, even if the regime doesn't collapse, Israel and America will be able to accomplish their other objectives, God willing. According to senior sources in the Israeli government, as reported by Amit Segal, these are Israel's top 5 objectives right now. Number 1, to act jointly with the United States to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. 2, to permanently deny any future Iranian regime the ability to again close the strait. 3, to dismantle Iran's weapons industry with an emphasis on ballistic missile capabilities. And 4, to complete the destruction of Iran's nuclear program. 5, to create the conditions for regime change. And on the topic of opening the Strait of Hormuz, yesterday, American pilots finally attacked Iranian missile sites stationed along the Strait of Hormuz on the coastline. The U.S. Central Command said in a statement, quote, "Hours ago, U.S. forces successfully employed multiple 5,000-pound deep penetrator munitions on hardened Iranian missile sites along Iran's coastline near the Strait of Hormuz. The Iranian anti-ship cruise missiles in these sites posed a risk to international shipping in the strait. Currently, there's a backlog of ships transporting oil waiting outside of the strait, afraid to make the passage. President Donald Trump has been trying to create an international coalition of ships to protect the strait, to basically escort the tankers through, but so far, no one seems willing to commit. I get the question all the time as to why Israel is America's ally, like what's in it for America. And I'd say this is a pretty good example of the value of our partnership. When President Trump decided an attack on Iran was necessary to America's security, Israel threw their entire military weight into the operation and have been carrying more than their fair share of the attacks and also the risks involved. And on the other hand, Trump can't get any of our other supposed allies to even send a single ship to protect their own interests in the Strait of Hormuz, even when their economies rely on the safe passage of oil through that same strait. It seems like in times like these, it's when we discover who our real friends are and who are basically just leeching off our good graces as Americans. And speaking of friends and best interests, on Monday, Iran fired a ballistic missile at the old city of Jerusalem. Remember, these aren't the point-and-shoot rockets that we've seen from Gaza in the past. They are ballistic missiles that can be programmed with a precise impact location. And Iran programmed the missile to land close to the Temple Mount, if not on the mount itself. And the Iron Dome was able to intercept the missile, but fragments fell across the old city, including at the Western Wall, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, in the Jewish Quarter, and on the Temple Mount itself, as you can see in this video. This is a very good reminder that most of the Muslim world does not care about the Al-Aqsa Mosque as a holy site in and of itself. They only care about it because it is the place where our Bible claims God put his name forever. Islam is a fake religion, a religion that copies from Christianity and Judaism. And when Jews and Christians are thriving and when they are worshiping God in the place where he chose to put his name forever, it's an affront to their faith, meaning they have no problem shooting missiles at the Temple Mount. If Muslims can't control it, they may as well destroy it. Guys, before we wrap up, I have something I want to play for you. We have a couple of projects that we've been working on for months now, and one of them is releasing next week. This is probably my favorite series we have done in a very long time. It's a cinematic journey through the most important biblical locations in Judea and Samaria. We put a ton of work into this. Take a look at this teaser for Ilan Murray.
Despite wars, political pressure, and attempts to erase Israel's connection to this land, God's promise remains.
You can't toss a rock or a stick anywhere in Judea and Samaria without touching something straight out of the Bible.
More than 4,000 years ago, God called Abraham to leave his homeland and his family to travel to a strange land. And in Genesis 12, he stood here, right on this very mountaintop. For I will restore their fortunes and will have mercy on them. No matter how much the world comes against the physical land of Israel, God's covenant is everlasting. The people of Israel are back in their homeland, fulfilling the exact promise made to their father Abraham thousands of years ago.
I am so excited to finally share this film with you. The release is happening March 25th, this coming Wednesday. So please mark your calendars. This is a film you do not want to miss. We also could use your help spreading it more broadly. I believe more people need to see the beauty of the land of Israel, the beauty of Judea and Samaria, and how that beauty is connected to God's faithfulness and his promises spoken to his people over the centuries. You don't want to miss this. There's a link in the description with more information about the film. You can also sign up for a reminder when the film releases. Also, don't forget that Passover is almost here. If you're looking for a meaningful Passover Haggadah for your Seder, You can get yours at the IsraelGuys.store or click the link in the description below. As always, thanks for watching.